Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm Jeff Dover, and with me is John Barbin. Let's talk football.
Yeah, we're doing our picks and previews for NFL Week 11. I don't know. I don't know how I can't keep track of what week is which. But here we go. So
yeah, it's week 11. You're right about
week
that.
11 coming up. Mm-hmm. All right. So do you want to do the previews or the picks first?
Yeah, you start. What's the game you want to talk about the most?
Well, I don't know. Ravens and Steelers. This was going to be a big time game. I have 3 games listed here, all as the game of the week.
Okay.
So the Chiefs and Bills, that's got to be one of the must-watch games of this week. If anyone has a chance, the Bills are one of the few teams. The Bills and the Ravens are the only 2 teams realistically that have a shot at beating the Chiefs, even though neither of them have proven they can do it. They have the pieces, at least. They have the QB and generally the pieces.
This is one of those games where like it matters zero if Kansas City wins this, because they're already undefeated. They're going to be ranked high in the playoffs and probably hosting a playoff game, So, and if they lose it, lose it is almost probably a good thing for them, because then it just sort of gives them maybe some extra motivation and things to work on in the meantime. It's the only thing that matters from this game is the Buffalo to hang with them, like at least look like they belong on the same field and play well or something like that.
No, but they do that all the time.
I know, but at least
they actually get over the hump.
I mean, even if they win, if Buffalo wins, which is fine, but it doesn't mean anything for the play. Like, it doesn't mean like when the playoffs happen, it's like, oh, Buffalo will be favored because they beat them in the regular season.
No, but I think psychologically the Bills know we can actually beat them, because think of the losses they've taken to them. That awful one in the playoffs where the Chiefs came back in 13 seconds.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So if they win, obviously that's good. I think if they play well and lose, I think will be important too, because then at least they can take that going in if they play them again in the playoffs. But it was I think the Buffalo's offense should be one of the few that can actually give Kansas City's defense a bit of a hard time. Kansas City's defense is excellent, but at Buffalo, I think that the total was 45.5. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeesh. I don't know. I
kind of Kansas City totals have been 40, like almost all of them, right? And it's because they're not as dynamic on offense and their defense is unbelievable, right? So we lost that last week where we thought it would be over 40. This one's 45, which is still not a big total, but I think the fact that it was at Buffalo, I had it written down like, oh, this should be over, but I'm like, I could be talked into the under. So I don't know if I
want the over, but I want to take the over.
That's probably how I feel about it too. I want the over.
I'm just staying away from this one just because of how good the Chiefs defense is and how inept the Chiefs offense can look.
Yeah.
And the only problem with the reason why I'm not confident about the over at all is the Bills, inexplicably, their offense can just no-show a game, even with Allen. So I don't know what to think of this. And it's, to your point, it doesn't matter to the Chiefs per se. Like, they can lose this game and it's not going to mean anything as far as their belief that they know they can make it all the way into the Super Bowl. Whereas, to me, the Bills have to show up here. Otherwise, they're just going to have another data point that you just can't beat these guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of this.
Buffalo's favored by 2.5 points, which is sort of interesting, but it's something about which it was just betting against Mahomes getting points doesn't seem like a winning solution either. So
no. And the only other thing I could say about the Chiefs, if anyone could beat them, it has to be a dynamic mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be a Jackson or like Allen. I'm trying to Jaden Daniels, something like that. I think the only way to beat I don't think you're going to out scheme this defense and beat them based on scheme. I think it's going to have to be otherworldly off script plays like only those guys can make, where that defense is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which it'll shut down Spagnuolo will shut down any scheme at some point. He'll figure it out. Right.
Yeah.
But then the off script plays are what'll beat him. And you only have a few guys who can do that. Now, he has the best one. He has Mahomes on his own team. So he doesn't have to worry about that guy, but somebody else like that. And there's only 2 or 3 in the league that are that guy. I mean, I'd even give that to Hurts. Hurts is good off script, But the one thing Burrow doesn't do really as crazy as those guys is the wild off script stuff. He can always find more time in the pocket, but not like how Jackson just can extend a play to 15 seconds or however long, and then just go on a totally improbable run. The same as Allen.
Who's with Buff Cooper now, right? Isn't that he's the wide receiver that went there? Amari Cooper?
No. Yeah, but he's injured.
Is he? Okay.
And I think Keon Coleman's also injured.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So that's another reason I'm staying away from this game.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a must watch. And then my other, sorry, you got anything there as far as a preview?
I'm excited to see the Washington Philly game. So that's the Thursday. It's the Thursday night game. So it's Philly's won like 5 or 6 in a row now or something like that. So, but Washington's good. They lost a close one against the Steelers last week. So, the only one on Thursday. I'm excited to see it. It's got the totals at 48.5, which will be good to see some scoring. And Philly's slightly favored, -3 right now. I don't have a hard time picking Washington on the road, and Philly's won so many, but I wouldn't feel comfortable saying Philly's for sure going to beat Washington either. So
no, I'm staying away from this one as well.
Yeah. So I'm just going to sit back and watch and looking forward to it.
Okay. So then my preview plus a pick is the Ravens Steelers in my 3 games of the week here.
Okay.
And I'm going over.
Okay.
A couple of reasons here. Highsmith is out.
Okay.
So they're going to have an even harder time corralling Jackson.
Okay.
And I don't actually expect the Steelers to hold them back. The Ravens are good for 30 points a game, no matter what defense is on the other side of the field. But on the other side, the Ravens pass defense has got to be the worst I've seen in I don't know how long. And not just for the Ravens. They're 32nd. They're the worst pass defense in the whole league. And Russell Wilson's specialty is the deep ball. And Pickens is looking better and better. So and Mike Williams showed up with a big TD. So I have no idea who's going to win this game. I just think it's going to be lots of points, which is, think about that, a Ravens-Steelers game. And I think it's going to blow past the over.
Yeah, no, and that's really saying something. So a lot of the words like Kansas City and some of the other low totals are like 39, 40. This one's on the higher end at 47, and it feels like it's not nearly enough.
I think the total should be 60.
Yeah, at least 50. We've seen those before too. So, yeah, that's a really good call.
There's no reason to think the Ravens can stop anybody from scoring, and there's no reason to think anybody can stop the Ravens from scoring. It's just a Ravens game is now a track meet, unbelievably. I
know, which is really saying something. I think that's the only reason why it's not over, because I don't think anyone could look at Baltimore-Pittsburgh and be like, oh, that's for sure going to be an over. But it's,
I mean, I guess one argument is Kyle Hamilton going to be in or not, but it didn't matter. They still had the worst pass defense with him.
Another good comparison to that is the San Fran-Seattle game. That over-under, that totals 49.5. So when was the last time that
I don't know what to make of that one. Right? I have it on my list here too.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers have not shown that they can score.
No.
Their red zone offense sucks, and Moody, who knows if he's going to hit it.
No,
he left 9 points on the field this week.
And Seattle they're one-dimensional, and that could easily go away. It's at San Francisco, and San Francisco's defense, I think, has looked pretty good. So
Seattle's one-dimensional, and this is a battle between 2 horrifically bad red zone offenses.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're talking.
I think we take the under there.
I was going to say we're talking ourselves into the under here.
I feel good about that because I don't think that's going to be.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to do it. We'll take the under.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
So those are all my previews. Now I've got just straight picks.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk for a bit now.
Now you jump in. You jump in.
Yeah. So my first pick is going to be Green Bay at Chicago. I'm going to take Green Bay -6. I don't know. Chicago is trending in the wrong direction. Green Bay, I believe, is coming off a bye. And so this, to me, if Chicago's defense, I don't know. I just feel like Green Bay is a significantly better team, and less than a touchdown, I'll take it.
Yep. And I have that under 41.5.
Ooh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's interesting.
We'll double that up. Well, can you picture the Bears contributing to this total at all?
No, that's a good point.
I mean, I know there's some recency bias, but my God, they just keep getting worse.
Yeah.
They just keep getting worse. I can't see them contributing anything to this total.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's low. It's 41 points, so it'll be a bit of a sweat, but that's, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, I don't know. The Bears are in free fall right now. I don't see
Right.
why they would put a better
Speaking
game
of our
together here.
bets, so this is the day of recording. We're doing this on Monday, so the
Mhm.
Miami game hasn't happened yet, but we need a
Yep.
couple of those bets to come in. We didn't even we didn't review our bets from before, but it was because we've got two in the Miami game. So this is so for the Green Bay this upcoming week, that's our 2-for-1 special,
There you
which
go.
is Green Bay minus the 6 and under the 41 points. But still tonight, the Monday night game, we've got Miami. So the total now is 48.5. We got it at 50.5 with the under. So
Mhm.
that feels fantastic. And we've got the Rams minus 2.5. So
Yeah.
if both
Now,
of those come in, then we're going to have a winning week in the NFL
yeah,
again.
and we pushed on the Lions game.
No, because we had 3.5.
Oh, was it? There was a hook.
Yeah, there
Oh,
was a
my
hook.
my notes had it at 3.
No, that's what we wanted it, but it was yeah.
All right. That
So we
sucks.
need it is.
All right. I have it all highlighted as a push and everything.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the Lions, the Jaguars and Lions
Ooh, what do you got here?
under 47.5.
Oh yeah, okay.
You think
A lot of totals this time. Yeah.
Mac Jones and the Jags are going to put up any more than, I don't know,
No, and
maybe
this is
10 points?
And this is in Detroit. When things go well, they're happy to sit on the ball. Like they'll absolutely just keep running it. Like if they're ahead or protect the lead and things like that, I wouldn't say they necessarily pile on. So like, does it alternate between Gibbs
Unless it's Dallas.
Yes, Gibbs and Montgomery, but
then they make a statement.
Yeah. So no, I think that's.
And their other massive point total game was that wild thing against the Titans when they scored 50 points without any offensive yards. So that's an anomaly. So obviously they can turn into an avalanche, but even if they could put up 35 points here, I think, and still hit the under, because I don't think the Jaguars are going to do anything.
Yeah.
Especially after the Lions laying a half game egg. I think they're going to come out ready to go in this one, not like what they just did. I think this is just going to be so bad for the Jaguars. So,
okay, and then the last one I have is the Houston Dallas over 42.5. The Dallas's offense is terrible, but I think the fact that it's at home, I think we could get like some points late. I think this is going to be a get right game for Houston, because I think they're a significantly better team than Dallas. So I think Houston's going to get a big lead, and then I think Dallas is going to maybe score something late in the garbage time to help put us over the 42.5. So that's what I'm thinking for this.
They passed for 49 yards this week.
That's
Dallas.
rough.
49. They actually put Trey Lance in.
Yeah,
and he threw a pick within like 2 plays, whatever it was, and they took him right back out. I'm just taking Texans minus 7.5.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I mean, this Dallas is a complete joke. This franchise is in utter free fall. I didn't even give them the dignity of being on the worst ever list, because they're perpetually on. They're the Florida State of the NFL.
Good call.
Jerry Jones. Did you see Jerry Jones' comments?
Had expectations and then
falling
Met
apart.
them doesn't even describe it.
Did you see Jerry Jones' comments about the light when
no.
CD Lamb was talking about that light, the light coming through the stupid window. That's a ridiculous, stupid stadium they built. And CD Lamb, a reporter was asking CD Lamb about that, and they said something to the effect of, "Are you going to bring it up with management?" Like that. That was why he missed that touchdown pass. Like he couldn't see, and then afterwards he was gesturing, and then the reporters asked Jones about it, and he got his back up, saying, "Everybody knows where the light is. We know where." Like as if it's not a surprise. No one should be surprised that the light goes right down the field and blinds everybody. And he's like, "But both teams know that." As if it's just understood. It's a disadvantage for both teams. Like what a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he's digging his heels in and he's got his back up and he's defending it. And apparently somewhere in that article, they were saying when other events are there, they have curtains to block the light.
No way. Really?
Jerry Jones is a fucking idiot.
Wow.
Like this team, I'm sorry, Dallas fans, this team has zero chance until that asshole dies.
Yeah.
Because he can't even concede that just put the drapes up for just for certain afternoon games at a certain time of year. The sun does exactly what it was doing on that the game yesterday. And did you notice sometimes when the broadcast was going from the end zone, the light was even blinding the camera? Like you couldn't see the field even on the TV broadcast.
Wow.
And then Lamb just pointed out. Then Micah Parsons today on Micah Parsons' podcast was just ripping on McCarthy. He's like, I don't care where he goes. Like he can take off. And he said something, I'm paraphrasing. I didn't hear it. I was just watching the quotes come up. Something to the effect of all my brothers, all the players on the teams worked harder than he ever did. So this team is in complete free fall. The organization's a laughable mess from top to bottom. You've got outstanding players on that team that are going to get nowhere. Now Micah Parsons is openly their best defensive player, who kind of has a right to make a statement because he's the best player on that team. Maybe the best player on the whole team. It sure as hell ain't Dak. I'd say it's Parsons and Lamb. Those are your two absolute best players. Both of them openly in defiance of their own organization. Parsons openly criticizing McCarthy, and then Lamb everything but saying, Jerry Jones, fix this goddamn Windows. And look at I mean, this is the most dysfunctional organization in pro sports, and it's all Jerry Jones. And I actually think he's starting to lose it. What an asshole.
Yeah.
Anyways,
no, it's ridiculous.
It's amazing that he's taking the crown away from David Tepper, and David Tepper's a prick, and Jones is 10 times worse because at least Tepper has a GM. God.
Yeah, you're right about the maybe the over isn't the right call for Dallas for that total there. Maybe it's just the Houston minus the 7.5.
God, they're a mess. So I mean, Texans, yeah, what a mess. Anyways, all right. So anyways, that's what I had. So I have one other.
Okay, what is it?
Vikings at Titans.
Okay.
Now this might be ironic given how awful the Vikings played. I just don't believe they're going to play that bad again. And I got the Vikings minus 6.5. The Titans are horrifically bad. Will Levis is back, and it's kind of clear they don't have a quarterback. It doesn't matter who's in there. If anything, I think the other guy looks better. I'm blanking on his name, but their backup actually looked better than this. And when I turned it on, I had to do a double take, thinking, who's even playing quarterback for them anymore?
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph seems to actually be, and I've actually had a couple of people commented on one of our videos saying Rudolph's better than Levis. So maybe that's a Titans fan who's paying closer attention than we are. Exactly. The fans always have a better feeling of it. Yeah. And I don't think anyone's confident with Levis back there. It's just that team's a complete mess too. It's too bad because they have some talent on defense, but obviously, if you don't have the quarterback right, you don't have anything. So here's another team that does it. The whole quarterback room is useless as compared to teams like Pittsburgh, who have two very good quarterbacks. Yeah. So the Vikings, I just can't imagine Darnold putting in another performance that bad. So I'm taking him to cover the 6.5. If not, they're a fraud.
Yeah. No, good point. It's at Tennessee, but it's, I don't.
So what?
Yeah. It's that's one of the lower totals I've ever seen too. It's 39.5. I was tempted to take the over there because I think that, like you said, I think Minnesota's going to play better and,
the Vikings may not contribute, or the Titans may not contribute anything to that total.
Yeah. So that's, but you're right. I think it's minus 5.5. So we'll take that. So
take that. All right. Well, that's all I got. You got any others?
No, that's it for me.
All right. So that's where we got for this coming week. Lots of good games and some interesting bets here. And, tune back into our channel for our NCAA week whatever picks and previews coming up. Catch you soon.